Namaskar. This video about maturity of personality. Somebody asked me this question: what does it mean to be a mature person, to be a mature man or mature woman? Then I thought about it. And I asked some people also. And basically everybody understands, and they give a similar replies. It means to be in charge of your life, take responsibility for your actions, and so on and so on. Then I thought about yoga philosophy. What does the yoga philosophy say about it? What does my guru has to say about it? The mind expresses itself in 4 stages. The first, very basic stage is the expression through instincts. At this very first state, the mind is completely guided and dominated by instincts. Every creature in the world, every living being in the world has an instinctive behavior. Caterpillar knows that it must eat, it must sleep, it must also avoid danger, strive to find a safe situation, and also it must procreate. This is instinct behavior, and that behavior is common to every creature, and we also have it. And the pressure of that instinct within us is a tremendous force. Then at the next stage, we share with all the mammals, with all the warm-blooded creatures, is the mind learns how to express through sentiment. I like you, I dislike you. If I like you, you are my friend. If I dislike you, you are my enemy. If I like you, I will support you. If I don't like you, I will oppose you. So this is the behavior. It does not matter whether you are following the right path, whether you are doing the right thing. If you are my friend, I am going to support you. This is a sentimental behavior. We can find that, cows, horses, they all live in the flocks. Animals, they feel affection, they feel warmth to each other, they play with each other, they become attached to each other. They also grieve, like elephants, they blow their trunks in grief when they lost somebody. So this behavior is a sentimental behavior. Sentiment in itself is a blind force. It has created so much bloodshed. It has created so much suffering in the society. We are sentimentally attaching ourselves to certain groups, to the races, to the nations, to the genders, to religions, to the societies, to the countries, and then in that sentimental behavior always there is us and them, and it is us often against them or them against us. And this sentimental path is a blind force, and it can lead us in a proper direction if we are attached to a proper guiding force, or it can lead us very much astray. Then there is another way. If I am to refer to biopsychology of yoga, you can check out my videos about chakras. There are many of them. Biopsychology of yoga. Instinctive behavior is in the 2nd chakra, Swadhisthana chakra. Then sentimental behavior is in Manipura chakra. Then we come here to Anahata chakra. Here we come to the path of rationality. What is the Anahata chakra? It is a very peculiar center. It is in between animality and spirituality. And it is not yet decided, what do I really want? Should I move on the path of divinity? Or should I come back to my dear and near animality? So this decision is always taking place in Anahata chakra. There is a certain vritti, certain ability of the mind located in Anahata chakra. It's called viveka, or voice of the heart, the conscience. So the path of rationality means, after deliberating, after thinking about the problem, find out what is right and choose the right path. This is the path of rationality. This is the path of benevolence. In the childhood, I used to think, my parents, they would put me to sleep something about like 9 o'clock in the evening time, and I thought, it is too early. I don't want to sleep. After some cartoons, I would watch some cartoons, then they would put me into the bed. And then I was thinking in my mind, in the state of clash, I was thinking, these people, they don't understand. When I will grow up, I will not sleep the whole night. I will be free to take my own decisions. And for many years, this idea of adult life, this was the concept of adult life, that I'm having freedom to take my own decisions. This was my idea, what it means to be adult, what it means to be mature. But later on I arrived to a different conclusion. I arrived to the conclusion that maturity does not mean to have a freedom to do whatever I like. Maturity means to do the right thing. To do the right thing. After deliberating, after thinking deeply, what is the right thing? Choose the right path. This is the path of rationality. And the path of rationality is logical and a little bit intuitional. You have to feel in your heart, you have to think in your mind, you have to find the proper way, you have to have courage to follow that right way. And that is always the path of benevolence. That is, I will call, human maturity. As humans we become mature. But there is another expression of the mind. Instinct, sentiment, rationality, then there is another higher expression. What is that expression? The mind develops, and it develops intuition. When the intuition develops, you start to know the secret of the universe. The secret universe opens to you. You start to feel, you start to perceive the greatest mystery. And then you do what? You fall in love with that mystery. And that falling in love with that mystery is called love divine, or devotion. You start to love the supreme entity, the supreme consciousness. And then your entire life goes in alignment with that love that you perceive in everything, in every entity, in every human. And then you become, you cannot do harm to anybody. You can only be helpful. You can only be, you can only be an asset for the human society. So this is the highest maturity, and that is a spiritual maturity. And that maturity we all need to attain. We all need to strive to move from the instinct, from the sentimental realm, to move to the spiritual realm. So how to move? How to move from here to there? Path of benevolence. What is the word for benevolence in Sanskrit? What is the term in yoga? Path of benevolence is called satya. Satya. Parahi tartam vaun manasa yat artatvam satyam. It means using the intellect, using your words, your speech, with the spirit of the benevolence of other beings is called satya. Satya, it also means truthfulness. Because truthfulness, if you are really true to yourself, if you're really honest with yourself, with your thinking, if you don't allow yourself to be in delusion, you will find out this is true, and this is truth, and this is falsehood, this is untruth. And truth is always benevolent. To do something wrong, to do something bad, you have to cloud your mind, and you have to deceive yourself. You have to explain yourself. You have to prove yourself that this wrong thing is the right thing. So following the path of satya, following the path of truthfulness, first of all, being truthful with yourself and being truthful with others, accelerates the maturation of the personality. By following satya, one becomes very quickly mature. Another thing, and also, anahata chakra needs to be strengthened. The heart needs to be strengthened. Otherwise, we cannot fight with the instinct and with the sentiment. Instinct is here, sentiment is here. Strong emotions. Sometimes you hate someone. How you can fight it? Unless your heart is very strong, unless your heart is very benevolent. And satya is when we are straight in the mind, we are truthful in the mind, it creates a certain friction in the mind, and it creates an effulgence. When you follow this path of truthfulness, your heart becomes full of light, and there is this feeling that I can do anything and everything. The willpower becomes very strong. This is one thing. Another thing also to strengthen the heart is also in the principles of niyama. It's called tapah. Tapah means, also when I was asking from people, what does it mean to be a mature person? They would say, I think it is about taking responsibility, about being responsible. So what does it mean to be responsible? One thing is a positive thinking, proactive thinking, to take responsibility about your life. Many people would not like to take responsibility for their life. They will say, oh, we are living in poor country, or there are some, evil forces acting in the world, that's why I'm not able to prosper, and there are so many excuses. But the person will not say, I am in charge of my life. So this is the first point of adulthood. This is the first point of maturation. I am in charge of my life. I have got the responsibility to fix every problem I have. This is what I need to do. This is okay. This is one thing. Is already you earning some respect by taking responsibility for your life. But then greater respect is there when you take responsibility for others also. And the principle of tapah, it says that to endure hardship, to endure some limitations, to endure some suffering by carrying the burden of others, by relieving others from their suffering. This is called tapah. And when we do that, when we accept the path, it's always painful. Tapah is always painful. When we are facing, there are kind people and good people, they take responsibility, they help others. And there are goody people. They would like to look good, but would not like to take responsibility. They would not like. They find a dog, a puppy dog. Oh, it is so sad, this dog is going to be, wasted, and let me take care of this dog. And they will drop this dog on somebody else. You take care. Sorry, wait a minute, I have to, I need time to take this decision. Don't you like animals? How cruel you are. But the person, he knows it is painful, because if he will take responsibilities for the whole life, I know, I commit to something. So it's not easy for such a person, to commit. But once he commit, he will commit. In rational language, we have this proverb. It says, you measure it 7 times, and after you measure and double check it for 7 times, then 1 time you cut. It means you think properly before you take decision. But when you took the decision, then do it. Don't look back. Just go ahead. Take the commitment, and that commitment should be very strong. Always painful. Take the commitments. But in my experience, and also in experience with so many friends, sometimes I really feel fear there is a huge project, huge, at least in my mind, because nothing is huge, everything is relative. It is my mind is small, that's why I'm thinking huge. So I'm thinking, wow, I couldn't think these figures in my mind. But then just you struggle inside, struggle. Then finally you come up with this commitment. I'm going to commit, and I'm going to be successful, and I'm going to complete this thing. Then, as a result of this commitment, always it is in the spirit of benevolence, you are thinking about serving others, helping others, serving the society, developing the humanity. So once you took that commitment, there will be joy in the heart. There will be joy, and there will be this feeling of invincibility, that the Supreme Force is with me. You know, I'm one with the Force is with me. The Force, may the Force be with you. That feeling that the Supreme Force is guiding me, is with me, I'm invincible. That gives the strength to the heart, and that allows to come out of the fear. It allows you to come out of the instinct and establish yourself at the level of humanity. And my guru said, the humanity in its fullest expression is divinity. So from humanity to divinity is very near. If you establish in humanity, the next step will be unfoldment and development of intuition, and there will be automatically the feeling of the divine love. Sometimes in monastic life there is a lot of pressure, and let's say I'm going to some city and then I have to initiate many people. I have to just, be very, schedule is very tight and you are sacrificing. But then I move to another city and I have a gap of rest. And in that gap, somehow there is a flow of ecstasy comes. And you feel so extremely happy. And you feel that there is so much love in the heart. And so much grace have been showered down on you. And you are so extremely grateful. So every time you commit yourself to some kind of sacrifice for others, for serving others, you will find there is a feedback in the form of inner realization, understanding of something mystical, something very beautiful. And that brings the spiritual maturity. So spirituality is unthinkable without sacrifice. Why? Because the immature existence is about instinct, and instinct is about self-preservation. It comes out from there. And maturity is not about me, it is about us, all of us, the entire universe. How to be of use for the entire universe, how to be helpful for the entire world. This is what spirituality. How to be part of oneness, part of just one thing, of consciousness. So to be that, you have to renounce the smallhood, the smallness of the little instinct and sentiment. So for that needs sacrifice, because sacrifice means that you accept limitations of this little I, you accept the suffering of this little I, and then you grow into something bigger, into the love divine. So that is the maturity. So to become mature, need to accept the responsibility. And to be very straight also, straight in the mind. Responsibility for others. And to be good, not goody-goody. Like there is a rule for the sannyasis, for the monks. It says, you should offer something after reducing one's own expenditure. It means not, there is let's say, there is a collective fund, I take from here and then I help somebody. Not like this. I have some fund, my fund. for my comfort, for my use, and I take from there, and then for the next month I will have to live a little bit more tight, but then it is true sacrifice. You didn't say, hey, my friend, come, give me some money. Okay, here you are. He gives me money and I'll help him, and I look very good and nobody knows about him. Not like this. It's like you really reduce, and you take some limitations in your life, some suffering in your life, to help others. That's the real responsibility. And that's what is adult life about. Adults, they take responsibility. So this is about maturity. So 4 levels are there: instinct, sentiment, rationality, devotion, the divine love. And also my teacher has said that sentiment guided by rationality is the most powerful force in this universe. That it is the most powerful. If the sentiment is controlled, if the emotions are controlled and guided on the path of benevolence, it is extremely powerful force. But if emotions are controlling the intellect, controlling the benevolence, twisting the truth, making the truth something else, then it is the path of downfall. It is the very dangerous path. So we have to become mature. We have to grow into the maturity by following the path of satya, benevolent truthfulness, and by following the path of sacrifice, the path of tapah, serving others by reducing our own needs and comforts. Thank you very much. Namaskar.